It was a city, like I said before, Asheville, in North Carolina. It was very historic from the city council. Shanika Smith, she was one of the ones that was sign off on it, and they made a deal last night, July 14th, about basically giving reparations to African Americans, man, and descendants of that, from descendants of slavery, and the residents of that city. So is that something very historic? We're like the first city to do that, and this is what I really stress so much. When people don't believe in voting, they don't believe that local elections actually play a part in your livelihood. I mean, this is something good because this is the blood, sweat, and tears that the building blocks and the foundation of white America that blacks need to be owed. I mean, it's other many races of people that was actually owned by this and receive reparations. They was able to move forward. And don't get me wrong, we can't control every single person, black person, if they're going to do it right with the money. That shouldn't be like an argument that we shouldn't receive our reparations, because there are prominent great black people that want to do businesses, that want to rebuild the homes here in the ghettos and stuff like that, man. So I feel like at this particular moment, this will give hope, this will give encouragement. This is one of their visions, because they believe like education, healthcare, affordable housing. They feel like what else? Fairness in the criminal justice system. This will be good, because once you have money, you have different wealth, and we have business loans and business ownership. That is the main primary goal. I feel like, okay, well, yeah, this is what actually boosts the morale in the community. I just feel like when you have a lack of opportunities and you feel like nothing is coming to you. I mean, compared as a whole in a community, it's going to rise, it's going to go down. And then you got a lot of cities, some mayors are closing down schools because they feel like kids are not going there and they're not learning anything. Teachers are being underpaid. So it's a lot of things that we have to really deal with. Now I feel like Asheville, North Carolina, is setting that example that hey, we're going to do something about this. We're gonna, if Black Lives Matter movement, I mean, if they can really issue things like that, I mean, instead of like, the protesting issue, like, okay, well, we're gonna need reparations for these major cities here. And then maybe, a lot of people will start, the Congress, they head up to Congress and they're gonna actually jump on board and give it to, those who are descendants of slaves. I don't know how they went into detail of like, I don't know, they had to go to ancestry.com, but I guess those who just African Americans in that particular resident, I don't know how big the city is, they're eligible to receive it. And it was a 7-0 vote. Even some counties, the neighboring counties, didn't really agree with it, but we still had to go past. So I think this is very historic. This should really be all over the news. This is something good, and this is something that we can really invest in for our children, because at the end of the day, the boomer generation is not going to be here forever. Generation X is not going to be here. Millennials are not. So at least we got to have something to start with, instead of our children coming into this world and starting all the way over. And it's just really brought a smile to my face hearing about this, because I'm like, man, the city of Asheville, like in North Carolina, and they actually apologized too. They were saying, sorry for like it took so long, and we're starting to realize like the treatment that you guys are getting. And if it wasn't for you guys, like the Foundation of America wouldn't be as strong. I mean, you have African American inventors, all that stuff, man. I mean, we participate in every single war, and it's just time for us to have our share. It's just nothing like we holding our hands out and begging, but it's just like this is what we owe to. It's just like a debt and a payment that's owed to, a group of people, a generation. So this is something that is really good, because systematically they're starting to realize we were put in this position. I mean, you think about way back then. I mean, it destroyed our communities. I mean, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, and Wall Street. You had like in the 80s, and war on drugs and the stop and frisk in New York, the crime bills. I mean, a lot of politicians that was really against us in this particular time, and you want us to really go ahead and respect the country that we live in. But all we ask is like most majority of African Americans, I'm telling you from my perspective, we just want to go to work, take care of our children, man. Get better, and just not just be like white people, but just be treated as a human being, as a race. I mean, yeah, we can't. I mean, you got white people kill white people all the time, Asians kill Asians. I mean, but as for us, I mean, we kind of want to, chill out a little bit. Well, we want, to better our communities, but at the same time, we're not going to sit in, in something that's dysfunctional. And that's why, when we make it, most of the time we go out to the suburban areas, and we have people that don't look like us that's in these nicer neighborhoods, and therefore like a lot of that wealth is just gone. So I feel like, if we can really go back to our stuff, we can really rebuild it. And then it can change like our mindset of, you know, some of these black conservatives that truly believe that, you got to pick up your bootstraps on, and, you know, stop being lazy. Like, we would actually go back and have a change of heart and understand and realize, like, man, you know, we got to go ahead and help our people. And, you know, with the money that we do have, let's invest and help ourselves start these businesses, build up our infrastructures, build these abandoned homes, and clean up our neighborhood. And therefore, you know, people have a job, have a little task to do. They will feel like, okay, well, you know, they're significant here on this planet. And then I feel like a lot of the crime will go down. When you have money, typically, you know, you're going to be busy, or you're building something up. You're going to be busy. You're not going to really think about hurting your neighbor and killing them, because you're like, okay, well, we got the same stuff you got. I mean, you're not going to really think about, he got more money than me and I got nothing. So, you know, now we're suffering. This is when the crab in the barrel mentality comes in. So this is something good. This is going to be in the history books. Kudos to Asheville for doing this. Seriously, kudos to them. This is actually the seed of change. I truly believe that this is the seed of change. This is something that all major cities need to do. Seriously. So shouts out to you, Asheville, doing that. I believe it's going to be more cities doing it. The city council for doing a great job. Have a list of documents and proposals for African Americans. I'm pretty sure they had to, go through some different lists here to access the money. But this is a start, and this is something that I was talking about. Now, this is one of the root causes of it. Now, if you got the money, let's do right with it. Let's do right with our neighbors, and let's go ahead and just build. That's all I really have to say, man. We building here, moving on to the future, and thinking about to what Nick Cannon and stuff he was saying. Like, it's all right, but at the same time, man, let's move on to the future. With us, where we were back then. I mean, that can give us inspiration, but it's just the rhetoric and the talk. It's not gonna really help build up the black community. I truly feel like, because we got so many of those. I mean, you even got Hebrew Israelites on the, what they call them, preach on the street corners. That's cool and yelling and stuff, but at the same time, man, it's like, how's that going to help us move forward? At the end of the day, we got to do what we have now. Use your platform, which you can do now. That's all I can really say, man. But this your boy Young Lee Jr. You guys please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Kudos to that city. I'm out. Deuces.